Right now with a look at those critical weather conditions right now, especially those winds, Rob.
Yeah, unfortunately, these winds will continue through the rest of today, through the overnight hours, and then they'll finally start to die down by about lunchtime tomorrow and into the afternoon hours. Before we get into some of the other conditions, I wanted to show this. This is from the GOES 16 satellite. This is a 2-hour animation. It's about a 15-minute lag on the last frame of this animation to real time. Also keep in mind, this is not military time. This is universal time. So 24C or 0Z, that's about 4 o'clock our time. So again, that's not military time, that's universal time. But everywhere you see the reds, the oranges, and the yellows, that is the heat that is being picked up by the infrared sensors on this satellite. You see a little smaller fire here in Nevada, but of course the Camp Fire really sticking out. And we're in a cooler time of the year now, so it's really easy to pick out these fires now because during the heart of the fire season, we're still seeing afternoon highs above 100 degrees. So sometimes that messes with the infrared sensors, but clearly it is still an intense burning fire. And again, this is about almost real time, only about a 15-minute lag on the last frame. And when you start to see some of these yellowish orange dots and into the whites, that's when you're picking up high-end burning, very extreme burning conditions right now. A lot of oxygen being pushed into that fire and fueling it. All right, let's go to our weather graphics if we can. So back to our weather graphics, and I want to start off with showing this. This is the fire danger rating for today. You'll notice all the red on the map. I'm going to step off for just 1 second, and a lot of times we'll show this and we won't explain to you what the actual ratings mean. So I've pulled up the description for extreme. Again, everywhere you see red, that is extreme, the fire danger rating for today, and that's the fuels plus the weather forecast for today. The extreme definition is direct attack is rarely possible and may be dangerous except immediately after ignition. Of course, that was way into the morning hours. Fires that develop to headway into heavy slash or into conifer stands may be unmanageable while the extreme burning conditions last. Under these conditions, the only effective and safe control action is on the flanks until the weather changes or the fuel supply lessens. So again, that's the definition for extreme. And you'll notice we have widespread extreme, including the Camp Fire, and that's again the fuels plus the weather forecast for today. This is a MODIS heat signature pass. Unfortunately, it's over 3 hours old now, so we need a new pass from these polar orbiting satellites. Sometimes these satellites only get 1, maybe 2 passes a day, but we have more than 1, so we'll have to continue to check to see the latest heat signatures. But you'll notice as of about lunchtime today, everywhere you see an orange square on the map, that's indicating heat that was picked up by the polar orbiting satellites. Keep in mind some of these could be from spot fires, not the main flaming front, but that kind of gives you an idea. So the fire started kind of off to the east-northeast, and then those winds carrying it to the west and southwest. This right up here, of course, is Paradise. So already some heat being picked up by the satellite about 3 hours ago. Current conditions right now, Jarbo Gap, and these are about an hour old. New updates should be coming down in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But as of an hour ago, about 11% relative humidity. Winds out of the northeast at 15 miles per hour. Gust at 24 miles per hour. Of course, this is just at this location. You head close to the Camp Fire. The winds could be more easterly, maybe even a little bit more northerly. The humidity could be lower, it could be higher, and the gusts could be lower or higher. But again, that's just the closest weather station that we have right now. The radar, this is kind of giving us an idea of where the main flaming front is. As we've mentioned, the yellow, the oranges, that is not the actual fire. That is just the debris that the radar scan is picking up on. And you'll notice you go from the yellows to the oranges and then to the greens and the light greens, and then nothing being picked up by the radar. So you want to go upwind. So you go upwind, and right about here, that's likely where we're seeing possibly the main flaming front of this fire. And so it kind of gives you an idea. You go from, again, the oranges, yellows to nothing. So that's kind of the idea of where the main flaming front is right now with the Camp Fire. Of course, there's spot fires breaking out, but there's Paradise right there. So just really scary to see at this point. Visible satellite, smoke being blown off to the west and southwest as you would expect with these gusty winds and the winds from out of the east and northeast. So the poor air quality conditions as you head into parts of Butte County, Glenn County, you're going to, of course, see the smoke plume into Hayman County and Shasta County, but the worst conditions are off to the south. There's a look at the winds heading through the next 15, 20 minutes. Out of the east-northeast for the Camp Fire, relative humidity values in the single digits. Winds starting to drop off some for for parts of the valley and the foothills by 11 o'clock tonight. But you'll notice, again, for the campfire and those thermal belts of Butte County, that's where the winds tend to stay up even in the overnight hours. Relative humidity value is very, very low. Those winds in the overnight hours keep things mixed up, and that keeps the relative humidity values low. And you'll notice all the way into 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, still seeing winds. And again, everywhere you see a red an arrow on this map, that's indicating winds of at least 15 miles per hour. There could be winds around 30 miles per hour, but it's at least 15 miles per hour. Relative humidity value is still in the low teens, even at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Winds finally start to drop off by tomorrow afternoon, but look at the relative humidity values around about 5–6% throughout the entire valley and into the foothills. Again, winds still gusting around 30 miles per hour into 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then by tonight, you'll notice the winds actually pick up tonight. We're seeing winds around 30 to 40 miles per hour by about 8 o'clock this evening. That purple indicating gusts around 40 miles per hour. And then again, overnight into Friday morning, the winds start to drop off, but we're still seeing some gusts at 20 miles per hour. And then you'll notice finally dropping off by tomorrow afternoon, but we still have the really dry air in place. No rain in the forecast for the next 7 days. That light green you see, that is a trace. It's not even measurable rain, that's a trace. You have to head well off to the north to see some measurable rain. And once we get past today into tomorrow morning, the next big concern for the Sacramento Valley and the foothills will be Sunday, Veterans Day on Sunday. And we've been talking about this for a couple of days now. Those winds will pick back up into Sunday. So Predictive Services has already issued a high-risk day for this upcoming Sunday because of gusty winds and low humidity. So we definitely still have a ways to go until we see some widespread rain. We'll be right back.